Okay, imagine this. What if you could build a company or even an entire society with zero bosses, no managers, no hierarchy whatsoever? It sounds pretty much impossible, right? Well, there's a community out there that's actually trying to do it. Today, we are diving deep into the radical philosophy of a place called Life Chanyuan, a world that is trying to run completely without management.
So, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into why they believe power itself is the root of all evil. Then we'll look at their alternative, this idea called the way of nature. From there, we'll see how this all works in daily life, what it actually takes to be a member, and finally, we'll unpack their core concept of service, which is meant to replace management for good. To really get what Life Chanyuan is all about, you first have to understand what they're trying to escape from. See, in their view, the biggest flaw in our world isn't capitalism or politics, it's the whole idea of management itself.
And they are not subtle about it. The community's founder, Zhu Feng, lays it out in the most direct terms possible. This quote really is the key to their entire worldview, that having power isn't just a problem, it's literally a source of evil.
I think this framing is just fascinating. They see management as this outdated operating system, human civilization 2.0, built on power and bureaucracy. And their big upgrade, Civilization 3.0, is designed to run on a totally different principle, service, which they see as this state of natural harmony and voluntary contribution.
So, if you just get rid of all human management, what's left, right? Doesn't that just lead to chaos? Well, not according to them. They believe a better system is already running in the background. Their whole alternative is this profound idea they call the way of nature.
And here's the core belief. The universe already has a perfect management system, a kind of divine, natural order they call the Tao. So from their point of view, human managers and all that bureaucracy, it's not just unnecessary, it's actively getting in the way of a system that already works perfectly.
And this right here is the logical endpoint of that belief. I mean, if you truly believe that a natural order is guiding everything, then you don't need an org chart, you don't need bosses. It means, quite literally, there is no formal structure, and no one has authority over anyone else.
Okay, this all sounds pretty high level and philosophical, but what does it actually look like day to day? Let's take a peek inside their community, which they call the second home, to see how all these ideas are actually put into practice.
So how do you replace human managers? Well, turns out you replace them with an incredibly detailed system of rules. Everything is governed by something called the 800 concepts and super strict procedures. But look at that third point, no special emotional relationships. This is so important. To stop favoritism and power cliques from forming, the system has to come before any personal feelings.
Wow. This quote gives you such a stunning insight into their mindset. Just think about it for a second. There's no HR department to go to, no one to complain to. If you feel you've been treated unfairly, their philosophy says the problem is with you and your perception, not the community. The system itself is seen as perfect and objective.
And the stakes for following these rules couldn't be higher. The consequence for not following them is direct and, well, severe. Elimination. Now, the texts say this just means you get removed from the community, but that word choice is incredibly stark. It shows there's absolutely no room for error.
This part is so interesting because it lists all the things that won't save you. In a normal workplace, being sick or having a good relationship with the boss might get you some slack. But here, nope. It's all completely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is if you are following the rules, right here, right now.
So, what kind of person actually thrives in a system that's this rigid? Let's talk about the mindset that's required of every single member, who they call Chanyuan grass, and the huge personal responsibility they have to take on.
It really all comes down to this idea of radical self-reliance. You're expected to be a creator, not just a consumer. You have to make sure you're giving more than you're taking every single day. And, most importantly, you have to manage yourself, your work, your time, even your own feelings. There is literally no one there to do it for you.
And here's how they justify not having any kind of social safety net. From their point of view, showing mercy to someone who's being lazy isn't a kind thing to do, it's actually being cruel to all the other people who are working hard. It's a really stark, almost ruthless definition of what's fair.
But get this, here's the twist. It isn't just about not being lazy. You can also get kicked out for being too proactive. Even if you have extraordinary abilities, if you go off script and do more than what's laid out in the official roadmap, that's seen as a threat to the harmony of the whole system.
Okay, so let's bring this all together for the final takeaway.
What is the one big change that Life Chanyan is trying to make? Well, it all boils down to replacing the very idea of management with service.
And let's be really clear. When they say service, they don't just mean helping out. It's a very specific philosophical idea. It means you contribute voluntarily, you follow the natural order to a T, and you do it all with zero expectation of getting power or a reward or any personal gain. This is the engine that they believe can run an entire society without a single boss.
Which, of course, leaves us with the big question at the heart of this whole thing. Is this some kind of revolutionary blueprint for a future without corruption where everyone just works together in perfect harmony? Or is it a super rigid system, maybe even a dystopia, where the price of that harmony is your own individuality? It's a pretty wild trade-off to think about.